Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming. I'm very grateful to you. Today is a very important topic that is very close to my heart. I want to share some of my own reflections on this topic, which every devotee who has spent some time in Krishna consciousness needs to internalize. This is patience. How patience helps us decode Krishna's plan for each one of us. Unfortunately, many of us, we live in two extremes as devotees. One extreme is we want miracles in Krishna consciousness. We are very attracted by amazing stories, coincidences. Of course, there are no coincidences in Krishna consciousness. Everything is Krishna's arrangement, but we are very attracted by very um, we are very attracted by sentimental events. Like, for example, like one devotee was telling me how he loves pav bhaji. It's a Mumbai dish. So he had gone to he had gone to temple, and he was staying in one ISKCON temple in the guest stop, and then he had to go to the airport to take a flight. He was in a different city, not Mumbai. So as he was leaving the temple, he smelled pav bhaji in the temple restaurant or from the temple courtyard. But he had no time. So he said, no, when I come next time, I'll take pav bhaji. So then he took the taxi and he was leaving for airport, and it started raining very heavily. And then it was mess. Before he reached the airport, the flights were cancelled. So he had to come back to temple, stay overnight, and next day go by another flight. So he came back to temple, and there in the courtyard, he could have pav bhaji. So he felt that Radha Krishna deities in the temple are so merciful, they gave him pav bhaji. And he saw this is a miracle of Krishna. Krishna is so kind. Krishna hears my prayer. This is sweet, but many of us get stuck here. We see miracles, and miracles basically means what I am going through in my day-to-day life, in my eating, sleeping, mating, defending. I'm not saying they are cheap experiences, but this is where we stop. This is one extreme where our faith is dependent on obvious miracles in bhakti. The other extreme is we become cynical, we distrust the process, and we look everything objectively, logically, philosophically. And when we do that, we miss Krishna. We miss experience of Krishna in our lives because we are always in the head. So deeper connection is missed. So therefore, for some of us, it is sentimental, the process of bhakti. And for some of us, it is dry, without any experience of Krishna. And some of us, we are wavering like a pendulum. Sometimes we are in the head, sometimes we are sentimental. So we need to see Krishna coming in our life daily, definitely. But I want to ask all of you, don't have to answer me. Where are you in this pendulum, in this scale? Are you more of the sentimental kind, or are you more of the logical, philosophical kind? Can we have a balance of both? Can we look for experiences of Krishna in our life and at the same time ensure that we don't get carried away by simple, cheap experiences, but rather go deeper? Because Krishna will test us. And at that time, patience is what we will need to practice. Because Krishna is quietly connecting the dots of our lives. See, nothing in our life is random. Once you have come to Hare Krishna movement, everything in your life is going through an amazing, Krishna is the best choreographer, best director, best orchestra conductor. So he is doing the best thing for us. And we have to learn to see how Krishna is orchestrating our life. But even if we can't see, because some things are not obvious, but at least we need to trust Krishna's plan, which means patience. Rupa Goswami calls this as Dhairyat. Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairya Tattat Karma Pravartanat Utsaha, Nischaya, and Dhairya. Utsaha means enthusiasm, and Dhairya means patience. So when some of us are very enthusiastic and we have only Utsaha, only enthusiasm. So when we have only enthusiasm, we get trapped by the mode of passion. We become driven by Rajoguna because we are only Utsaha. Some of us are very patient. Dhairya, patience, patience, patience. Oh, हो जाएगा. You have heard this? Very famous. जब होना है, जो भी हो रहा है अच्छा हो रहा है, जो भी हुआ अच्छा हुआ, everything is great, everything is good. Just be patient, patience. So then we go into mode of ignorance, tamoguna. So utsaha, only utsaha is rajo, only dhairya, only patience is tamo. So we need nishchaya, we need confidence in Krishna. So patience is extremely important. We need to trust the process. And we need to see how Krishna is expert. Krishna is amazing. See, before we begin, I would like to tell one story. This is a true story. This happened just few days back. So there is one family. Their father is not a devotee, ISKCON devotee, but he's a lover of Krishna from Delhi. Now he is 95 years old. So from the age of 70, he stopped his business. His children took over. Last 25 years, he has been only doing full-time bhakti. Before that, he was doing his Krishna bhajan and all that. He would go to Vrindavan and he would also manage his business. But at the age of 70, 71, he gave everything away to children. Last 25 years, he has been only chanting different bhajans of Radharani, Krishna, chanting different mantras. He is not connected to any bona fide sampradaya. He is not an ISKCON devotee, but he is doing sadhana in his own way. Every day, 8 to 10 hours, only chanting, reading bhajans, praying to Krishna. And every few months, actually every few weeks, he would drive from Delhi to Vrindavan. And at the age of 78, 79, he couldn't drive also. So his sons would take him to Vrindavan. So practically every few days, he would be in Vrindavan, they again come back to Delhi, again go to Vrindavan, just do bhajan. His sons, his grandsons were growing up. So last 25 years, this is what he's doing. And he recently passed away. So when I went to their house, you know what the sons showed me? I had goosebumps. I couldn't believe. They showed me the diary of their father. His father used to write in the diary, today, today my stomach was clear. Today I ate this prasad, or today I chanted extra bhajan. Small diary you would write every day. And I was thinking, why they are showing me this? So this Prabhuji passed away on August, I think 10th or something. August 10th he passed away. So in the diary in February, so the children showed me the February diary, the entry. So there is very, very simple entries like, today my childhood friend called me. His grandson has got typhoid. I hope Radharani will cure him. Something. So when you read that, you may think he's a very simple man. But every day, remember, he is remembering Krishna, he is praying to Thakurji, he is going to Vrindavan regularly, and he's simple, unassuming. But in that February 7th or 8th, there is an entry. Today, Thakurji told me that on August 10th, I have to go back to him. And then that's it. And then next day again, he's writing about his stomach not getting cleared. He's taking Isabgol. And next day, some other diary, some new bhajan that he's chanting. Then next day, diary, today I'm going to Vrindavan. So then the children are showing me, Prabhuji, he passed away on exactly August 10th, what is written on February. So some flash, maybe some inspiration, something we exactly don't know how Krishna told him, what he told him. The point I'm trying to make is, he is not a great devotee, a smart preacher, sannyasi, not even a conventional ISKCON devotee, but somebody who loves Krishna, somebody who has emotions for Radharani. See how Krishna is taking care. This is actually a miracle. The point I'm making is, Krishna talks to devotees, Krishna guides devotees, and he has been doing that every day. At the age of 95, he got this realization. Krishna is telling him, Chalo abhi mere saath wapas. So why I'm telling you all of this is, can we be patient till the age of 95? Some of you are, 25, 30. So for the next 70 years, can you practice bhakti quietly? Because sadhana bhakti, Patanjali Muni says that sadhana means it should have three criteria. It should be done without interruption, firstly. No interruption. It's not that today I have exams, so I will not do, or today is my daughter's wedding, so I have to be busy, I will not chant. No. Sadhana first criteria is no interruption. Every day we have to do. Second, for a long time I have to do. 40 years, 50 years, like this Prabhuji did for 70, 75 years. Then Krishna told him, okay, August 10, you have to come with me. So first is no interruption. Second, long time. And third, invest emotions, invest your energy. If these three are there, then it is sadhana. And what this means? Patience. If you have to practice for every day for so many years, then it simply means patience. So what this story reveals to all of us is that Krishna does connect the dots of our life. Krishna does take care. Actually, in our future classes, we will discuss Krishna's language. Like some of you speak Marathi, some of you speak Punjabi, right? Some of you speak Telugu, Hindi. Krishna also speaks a language. We will discuss that later in one of the other classes. Rupa Goswami says, Vivida Bhashavit, one of the qualities of Krishna is Krishna knows all languages. Krishna is amazing linguist. Rupa Goswami says Krishna also knows the language of the Kashmir province, as if that's a big deal. And then Rupa Goswami says, oh, Krishna knows the language of the birds, the animals. And Krishna does hear our prayers because it's there in the heart as Paramatma. So Krishna does hear. So in this case of this Prabhuji, which I told you just now, it's clear that Krishna does reciprocate with devotees. So now the point is, at our level, okay, we know that till age of 95, Krishna may tell me something, but I want to have faith. I want to experience Krishna. Okay, if we want to experience Krishna's presence in our life, let us first begin like this. I have no choice but to practice patience. Patience matlab ruko. You won't get according to your timeline. Krishna realization is like a seed, beej. Everything about Krishna will not come flashing like a lightning. Our problem is we want bhakti realizations to come like a flash. No. Bhakti realizations are more like a seed that grows. See, there are two realities. First is truth. Krishna is complete from the start. Krishna is like the seed is there, the seed of realization is there, means the tree is there. Means you get some little taste in bhakti, means Krishna is there, it is a seed, Krishna is a seed, he will grow, but it is there, it's complete. The moment you saw deities for the first time in your respective ISKCON temples, the moment you chanted Hare Krishna first time, the moment a devotee told you, Hare Krishna, the first time you saw a devotee, try to recall all those experiences, your first experiences in bhakti. That was Krishna's seed entering your heart. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told this to Rupa Goswami, Ye Rupa, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Beej. After roaming around in the millions of lifetimes through so many Brahmandas, we have finally got the seed of Krishna consciousness. So this is first. Krishna is complete from the start. Krishna has entered our heart like a seed. So be patient. At least be aware and be happy that Krishna is there as a seed. It is growing. Krishna is growing. Second, it is progressive. See, Krishna is there is first. Second is Krishna realization is progressive. Means just like a seed will sprout, grow, blossom, right? Similarly, Krishna will grow in the heart. Devotional creeper will grow. We have to just keep watering, protecting from the weeds. And the point I'm making is, Prabhus, the process of Krishna consciousness cannot be rushed. We cannot rush it. There is a timeline which Krishna has made, like in this Prabhuji's case. At what age? 95, right? The story I told you. So 95. In our case, it may be sooner. It could be even next life. But Krishna's timeline is different from our distorted timeline. Our timeline is extremely bad. we expect to become a pure devotee in 25 years. I remember when I joined the ashram, um, I remember very clearly my mentor, Govinda Prabhu. I remember asking him, Prabhuji, if I practice sincerely, in another 10, 15 years, all my anarthas will go away, no, Prabhuji. I'll become pure devotee, no? And immediately he said, no, your anarthas will not go away. So I said, okay, Prabhuji, maybe 15 years is too less. 25 years, everything will be all right. I'll be like a pure devotee. He said, no. I said, what do you mean? Even after 25 years? He said, see, if I tell you, yes, you will become a pure devotee in 25 years, all your anarthas will go away. Then after 25 years, if your anarthas don't go away, you will lose faith. So he gave right in the beginning only a disclaimer that you will suffer till death. Don't expect prak sharira vimokshanat. But he did say, Krishna has an amazing plan for us. Because Krishna's seed has been planted. So we can't distrust Krishna. So we have to basically trust Krishna's sense of timing and practice patiently. And if we don't trust this Krishna sense of timing, then what we are doing is we are being impatient. Patience means I'm willing to wait. Patience doesn't mean I'm waiting. Patience means I'm willing to wait. And while waiting for Krishna to reciprocate, I'm doing my job. My job is daily chanting, service, everything I'm doing. So, when we do this, what will happen? I'll share with you my 2 paise worth realization. So Govind Prabhu had told me that 25 साल बाद भी नहीं होगा, तभी मेरा 25 साल हो गया. He was right. Anarthas are not gone. But one thing I've realized, and I've confirmed this with many senior devotees, sannyasis, during my US travel also, I was happy. I could meet some sannyasis. I had some intimate conversations with them. And some very interesting things came up. That what we understand, no? That our anarthas may not go, but when we practice patience, we are showing Krishna that we are willing to allow Krishna to enter our heart. See, Krishna doesn't come like a lightning flash. Krishna enters our heart gently, like a fragrance. He seeps in. He doesn't barge into the consciousness. He doesn't want us to know him theoretically. He wants us to know him. He wants us to have full realization. Therefore, he enters slowly in moments, in realizations, in experiences, in events. So the seed of Krishna starts manifesting, sprouting, growing, blossoming. So at that time, as different incidents happen in our life, we continue chanting. And that is patience. But what is impatience? Impatience is when we start expecting results before Krishna's time. We start expecting some miracles. We want Krishna to deliver. Just like you order from your Amazon delivery, nowadays they order food. My God, immediately it comes. So we also pray to Krishna and we want immediately Krishna to deliver. Well, Krishna doesn't do like that. If we don't practice patience, I'll tell you what has happened and I'll tell you what I've observed in the devotee community. When devotees don't practice patience, how disastrous it can be to our spiritual life. First thing that happens is our perceptions start changing. We start thinking, well, what is happening? I'm chanting. Krishna should give me results. Krishna should give me results. And that is when the first problem comes, doubt. Doubts start coming in our mind when we are impatient in Krishna consciousness. What is the doubt? See, doubts are not bad. We should, Arjuna also had doubts. But I'm just saying this is how doubts start coming when we are not patient. The doubt is, okay, maybe the process doesn't work, maybe Hare Krishna doesn't work. Because I'm chanting for 20 years, the process doesn't work. See, nothing has happened. Does the process really work? This doubt is a result of impatience. Okay, now what happens, many of us, then we don't want to address the doubts also. And we are impatient. We are impatient. We don't want to address doubts because we are senior devotee. I know everything. If I ask, people will think I'm a fool. So we don't ask questions. We don't address our doubts, and then the doubts lead to prejudice. What is prejudice? We start collecting data. We start collecting evidence that supports our doubt. Like, I'll give an example. So I'm chanting for 20 years and I'm getting a doubt. Does the process really work? Maybe it doesn't work. I'm chanting for so long. And then suddenly I hear a story of some very senior devotee who has had some serious problem in his spiritual life. And what happens to me when I hear that? Oh, see, I had this doubt. So this process doesn't work. I already had a doubt. Now, there are many counter examples. Many people whose life has changed because of chanting. Counter examples we'll ignore. We will just focus on those evidences that support my doubt. That is called prejudice. That means, you are convicting someone without a full trial. Imagine in a court, proper trial is not happening, but the judge announces a judgment. That is called prejudice. Because a senior devotee had a problem. So, and I have a doubt. So my doubt is now confirmed because this evidence is there. So that's how impatience leads to doubts. Doubts leads to prejudice. And then prejudice leads to what is called as dogmatism. Dogmatism is also known as, how do you call it? Fanaticism. Dogmatic, exact word मुझे पता नहीं है. Dogmatism मतलब hard, मतलब जिद्दी, अड़ियल बोलते हैं उसको हम हिंदी में. Ideal is like somebody who is very, very stubborn, obstinate, dogmatic. So that is basically we are keeping our eyes open to only those incidents, those examples that confirm our doubt. And then dogmatism is when we are like we become rigid, like we are in the mood that I know everything, I know it all, and I refuse to consider other examples because you know why? Because I'm scared. Dogmatism is like when I'm scared because I've kind of made an emotional fortress because of my prejudice. Oh, your process doesn't work. See these examples. Now if I have to appear to be very knowledgeable and realized because I know it all. So many devotees have problems. Process doesn't work. It appears to be very strong conviction, but actually it is fear. It is fear that is masking as faith. Because if I willing to listen to devotees, if I become humble, then I may have to abandon my position. I may have to accept that the process is wonderful. Krishna consciousness is beautiful. So many examples are there. No, I don't want to hear. In fact, I've seen those devotees who are very dogmatic. They appear to have very strong conviction and they're very confident. But actually, it is fear which is wearing an armor of confidence. So I hope I didn't confuse all of you, but this is very, very, very interesting, very deep, and very true. It begins with impatience. That impatience leads to doubts. And then once there is a doubt, then we get some incident, we start getting convinced that this is, we start developing prejudice because of those examples that we see. That means we only select, it's called confirmation bias in psychology. We look for evidences that confirm our theory. Once that prejudice becomes strong, then we become dogmatic. Then we are attached to the position we have held. We don't want others to give us contrary opinion. We become ziddi, we become stubborn. And such devotees keep getting how the universe arranges for them. They keep getting evidences how the process is bad. I mean, it's shocking. I have interacted with such devotees and I have got influenced also by that theories many times. And it's scary how doubts, impatience can lead to doubts, doubts can lead to prejudice, prejudice can lead to dogmatism. So what is the solution? So the point is that I'm coming back to patience. Patience basically means continuing to serve the scriptures, continue to control our senses. We see devotees keep saying, how do I hear Krishna's voice, Prabhuji? I want to hear Krishna's voice. Arey, forget Krishna's voice. First you are so attracted to hearing gossip, hearing politics, hearing what Trump is doing, what which actor is going around with which actress, what candle, Bollywood. We are attracted to hearing so much of gossip and we don't want to abandon that. And now we are thinking how I can hear Krishna's voice. Krishna's voice will take time. Let us be patient. Let us practice bhakti patiently. And let us give up that rigidity. Okay, I am not accusing anyone of you of anything, but I'm just telling you, if you have practiced Krishna consciousness for a few years, please notice whether you are getting rigid. Rigid means, little cynical. Many of us now, when we were new, we were very innocent. Small things made us happy, and we were appreciating everyone. But as we get older, we become smart. I know everything. We are not impressed by the small things in bhakti. So that that is the defense mechanism we have built, because we don't want our rigid beliefs to be shaken. But if we practice bhakti patiently, actually, if your faith is shallow, it's not a problem, because you're in the right place. You have less faith, so keep chanting, keep associating with devotees. But my problem is, if your faith is very strong, then I have a problem, because I want to ask you a disturbing question. The strong faith that you have is because of realizations in bhakti, or is it a defense mechanism, or is it a fear that you may be proved wrong? See, externally what appears as strong faith could actually be shallow. It could be fear. It could be in the head, I just have to believe this. Prabhupada said this. No, real faith means you're allowing it to be tested. You're willing to go slow. You're willing to understand, hear the others, not judge, not be rigid. That's why you'll see some of the senior most leaders, like I see my own Guru Maharaj. His faith is so strong, he doesn't judge anyone. Like some of his best friends are not in his con, they are from different sampradaya. But he still has very good relations with them. And one of his best buddies is Gary. He's into all bodybuilding, completely body conscious. And Maharaj is completely Krishna conscious. They are best of friends. My Guru Maharaj doesn't feel uncomfortable in his association. Because the faith is not based on some rigidity, some fear. It is not a fear-driven faith. It is a lived realization. It's not a defense mechanism. So, okay, I'll put all of this together in a progressive flow. Okay. Impatience means what? Impatience means, I want results now. That is impatience. Ask yourself, if you're impatient, I want results now, then the next step will happen very soon, which is doubt. Maybe this doesn't work. Impatience means, I want results now. Doubt means, maybe this doesn't work. Then it leads to prejudice. What is prejudice? I have seen enough. It doesn't work. That is prejudice. Even if I provide you counter examples, you will say, I have seen enough. It doesn't work. And dogmatism is, it will never work. I'm convinced it will never work. That is dogmatism. And I'm certain about it. It will not work. So we know patience, basically what happens when we practice patiently. We are going to see controversies. We are going to see scandals. We are going to see problems. We'll see our own anarthas come up. But humility, patience, and openness will give us living realization. Will give us that realization will grow. It will breathe. It will be real. But dogmatism is insecurity, because when sometimes if you allow questions to be asked, if you wait too long, then the whole structure that you're building up in the mind, it will collapse. So we want to defend it at all costs. So real faith is something that can be questioned without crumbling. Are you willing to question your practices? See, okay, I'll give an example. I think all that I'm saying will be clear when I give an example. Our problem, many of us, is we are not experiencing Krishna, but we are defending Krishna prematurely. So there is a difference between experiencing Krishna in day-to-day life and prematurely defending Krishna. These are two different things. And a classic example, one of the ISKCON sannyasis told me, a very interesting example, that when he was a young brahmachari, now he's been in the movement since 1970. So he says when in the 1981 or 82, when they were young brahmacharis in Saffron, they went to Udupi. This is an amazing story. Udupi is a place where there are sannyasis who are serving in the Madhva Sampradaya tradition for last 800 years. And these sannyasis, they practice at the age of 7 or 8, they take sannyas and they leave their bodies at the age of 90, 92. Whole life they have been sannyasis serving Krishna. And generally they leave their bodies on Ekadashi or Dwadashi, while worshipping Krishna. It's very mystical place. And these devotees are very pure. They've led their life only serving Krishna without any name, fame, glamour. Amazing pure devotees are there. So these young brahmacharis from ISKCON, Prabhupada has left this planet. Now these are young devotees. So this sannyasi was telling me this story that they went to Udupi and these 4 of them, Americans, and they had a debate with this Udupi sannyasi, was an 80-year-old, not a debate. That sannyasi did not consider it as a debate. The sannyasi welcomed them. Oh, you are sadhus, you have come from America, you are worshippers of Krishna, very nice. So he heard them very sincerely. And these young brahmacharis are upstarts. They started saying, this is wrong, this is the highest, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave higher. And they were like very passionately speaking. And he was agreeing with them, not because he was defeated in the argument, but because he was happy to see young boys preaching. And these young boys thought we have defeated him and we have established Mahaprabhu's mission as perfect. And he was like, yes, yes, yes. The sannyasi is saying, yes, 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 you are very right, very good. And he gave them Mahaprasad. And the sannyasi was telling us that we came back thinking we are victorious. And now the sannyasi says, and now I am 70-year-old, I realized what a fool I was. I went and I was trying to challenge somebody who has given his life for Krishna and somebody who is serving Krishna so lovingly. And just because he was listening to us, we thought he's defeated and we are victorious. We were so foolish. So he said this phrase that I was defending Krishna prematurely. And then I added that, and that Maharajji, who has been devotee for 80 years, he was living Krishna. His realization of Krishna was breathing, growing. It was alive. So the point I'm saying is many of us are insecure preachers. Our faith is very brittle. We are not experiencing Krishna's love. So, and all this is a symptom of impatience because we think I have to get results fast and I'm not getting results. So I have to keep defending. I have to keep saying this process is perfect. No, let us admit I'm going through the dark night of the soul. I'm going through solid churning. I'm struggling. I'm weak. Therefore, Rupa Goswami says, Titikshava, Karunika. Tolerate, be patient. There is a saying, patience, in the Christian tradition, they say this, patience is the companion of wisdom. You want wisdom, then you have to be patient. You can't just expect everything to happen. So the point I'm making is we need stability of heart. We need to have the same practices stable every day, 16 rounds. Even when you're not happy, go on with commitment, invest emotions of chastity, go on, go on. See, Krishna is like, Krishna loves the drama. Krishna loves drama. You know what drama he loves? He loves the drama of gradual revelation. Krishna, this is amazing quality of Krishna. He doesn't, as I told you, he doesn't barge into the heart like an uninvited guest. No, he enters slowly. So that eventually when you fully realize Krishna, one day will come when you will fully realize Krishna. At that time, it will not be a fragile, weak theory. It will be a deep conviction. And it will be a lived realization. Therefore, Krishna comes in moments. He comes in impressions. He comes in quiet revelations. Each will prepare you for the next. Small, small things Krishna gives us. Like the story I told you today. Is that not giving you faith about that Prabhuji? 95-year-old Prabhuji story I told you. After 25 years of going to Vrindavan every day, he writes in his diary that Thakurji is calling me on August 10 or whatever. So isn't that amazing? There are so many countless of devotees like that in Vrindavan. So the point I'm making is Krishna's gradual revelation we should trust. And that gradual revelation, Prabhu, it's not to frustrate you. Please, please. It is not to frustrate us. It is to deepen our relationship with Krishna. Because because when our heart is deep, then we can hold what Krishna is going to give us. Right now, we can't hold what Krishna wants to give us. Therefore, Krishna goes slow. Krishna gives us pain, suffering, or whatever. He basically loves to play hide and seek. That's how our relationship becomes beautiful. And the basis of our relationship with Krishna is trust, patience, continuing to practice, continuing to do the right things day in and day out. So at our level, what we do is we do four things. First is we keep the soil fertile, like the Bhakti Lata Bij. I said that Krishna has already planted the seed of Bhakti. So the seed has been planted by Krishna. Now what we have to do is we have to keep the soil fertile. Keeping the soil fertile means positive. हमेशा positive रहने का. In the sense, hopeful. हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन. Have you heard this song? When in India, we always chant this in school. So, हम होंगे कामयाब. We will. So that positive affirmations, choosing thoughts that Krishna loves me, I belong to Krishna. That is first. Soil, keep the soil fertile. Second, water the seed with hearing and chanting every day. And third is remove the weeds, means honest introspection. Like what we are doing right now is honest introspection, where we are discussing about how Krishna may not reciprocate. I have anartha. So this is like pulling out the weeds. And the fourth is wait. Allow the heart to go deeper. In fact, there are great saints who have endured for decades and decades before tasting full sweetness of Krishna's love. You know, they did not mistake delay of Krishna for failure. Their faith was not a fragile shield kind of thing. I'll tell you what is our problem. We mistake delay. Krishna is delaying, right? We mistake delay for failure. We mistake Krishna's silence for Krishna's absence. And we mistake our struggle in bhakti to lack of advancement. I'll repeat this. These three things we have problems. The delay that we get from Krishna, we think that is our failure because there is a delay. And second is Krishna is silent. We're not getting answers for our questions. But that silence we assume is Krishna is absent in my life. And thirdly, when we struggle, we think I'm not advancing. Like for example, if I'm struggling to wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock, I'm feeling sleepy and somebody else is very fresh in the morning. He is not struggling. So we think I'm struggling, so I'm not advancing. He is not struggling, so he's advancing. No, you could be also advancing although you are struggling. Because advancement is not determined by how much you struggle or you don't struggle. Advancement is determined by our inner longing, our hankering, our aspiration. That is what determines our advancement. It is not our ability, our control over our senses, our lack of struggle. That doesn't determine how much we are advancing. So therefore, we'll see, some of us, it's very easy. It's not difficult to control or change our habits. It's not difficult to wake up early in the morning. Habits are easy to change. Desires and aspirations are more difficult to change. So therefore, let us not have superficial ideas about Krishna consciousness and advancement. So therefore, true faith means we will wait. We will not rush to judgment. We will not hide behind rigid conclusions. We are open. We will spend time with devotees because our faith is resting on that unshakable conviction that Krishna loves me. Krishna is working even when the evidence is not yet visible. And when this patience will finally ripen, it will not lead to dogmatism. It will lead to, it will be deep, it will be radiant, it will be fragrant. Because you would have seen Krishna, you would have touched Krishna, you would have experienced Krishna, you would have tasted the truth for yourself. Like one Prabhupada disciple was talking to me about my Guru Maharaj, and he was saying, your Guru Maharaj, is praising so many sadhus, and some of them are Mayavadis. The Journey Home book, if you have read, is glorifying many sadhus. And then I was thinking, oh, where is this going? Is he glorifying my Guru Maharaj or is he criticizing? So he kept saying, why is he glorifying Mayavadis? And then he said a beautiful statement. He said, look at this amazing statement. He said, Prabhupada, we glorify Prabhupada, he hears. Prabhupada is here and all the others are Mayavadis, low, they are all bad. We criticize them. We say Prabhupada is here and everybody is bad. But what your Guru Maharaj has done? He has prevented all these Mayavadis also as sincere sadhus, and he's prevented all of them here. And then he has shown Prabhupada is here. So, what is a bigger glorification of Prabhupada? By criticizing the others, or by appreciating others and then showing how Srila Prabhupada is giving much, much more. So the point is, so then he said this statement. He said, I trust your Guru Maharaj, I trust Prabhupada, I trust Krishna's, no, he said three things. He said, I trust him, I trust Krishna, and I trust his relationship with Krishna. And the proof is he is able to mix with everyone. He is able to talk to everyone and is able to experience. So therefore, this is very sweet actually. And that's when I learned that because practice of patience, practice of trusting Krishna's sense of timing is extremely important for us. So we can practice patience if we have a culture of like prayer, like constant prayer. And also one very subtle thing, if we can learn to accept, we all have two aspects to our personalities. We have the saintliness within us. We also have the demoniac. Unfortunately, many of us, we live in extreme. We either think I'm saintly. I asked in devotees, say, I was always looking for Krishna. If you ask, how did you come to Krishna consciousness? I've been guilty of this answer. Oh, I've always been looking for spiritual life, and then I came to ISKCON. I got the answers to my questions. So when I'm giving that answer, I'm presenting how I'm a spiritual seeker. And there are some devotees who give the other extreme answer. Oh, I was a fool, I was fallen, and then some devotees, causeless mercy, I became a devotee, Hari Bol. Now, some of us call ourselves as demoniac. Some of us think we are like spiritually advanced. But the truth of the matter is, we have both. We have saintliness within us, and we also have the dark side within us. Unless we come to terms with this, we will not be able to practice patience. To practice patience in Krishna consciousness, we need to accept that I have both realities within me. I have the good side, somebody who always wants Krishna, but I also have the dark side, and it's okay. I'm coming towards Krishna. In the Ramayana, Yuddha Kand, we find a very interesting section where the war is going on. Hanumanji at one point of time is fighting with Ravan. So Hanuman knocks Ravan on the face, hard punch, and Ravan falls unconscious on his chariot. And then Ravana gets up and he congratulates Hanuman. He says, oh, monkey, you're really strong, man. You're really great. You're really good. You have a lot of power. So Ravan appreciates Hanuman for his power. So Hanuman says, what is the use of your appreciation? The fact that I did not kill you means it is useless. But then, so the point is, then only Lord Ram can kill Ravan. So in our heart, there is Hanuman. Means we all have a desire to serve, and we all have experienced the joy of service. We all have done at some point of time service. That means inside us, there is Hanuman inside us who wants to serve, who wants to be always servant of Sita Ram. But within us, there is Ravan also. Many of us, what we think, I'm Ravan, we only think of ourselves as fallen. No, there are both realities. There is Hanuman also, and there is Ravan also. And Hanuman has to keep fighting with Ravan. But we should know, Hanuman cannot kill Ravan. Only Lord Ram will kill Ravan. Right? So only Krishna will destroy our anarthas. Krishna is Rishikesha. But we have to continue happily doing our duty, patiently continuing Krishna consciousness. So, and once we do that, then we will experience the joy of Krishna consciousness. I request you all to read Bhagavad Gita 6.40, 41 and 42. Partademe anamutra vinashastasya vidyate nahi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. Krishna says that if you do even little bit of devotional service, Arjuna, I will protect you. Prapya punya kritam lokan ushitva shashvati sama suchinam srimatam gehe yoga brashto bijayate. Krishna says, Arjuna, even with little devotional service you do, you will get next birth, in a good rich family and all that. Krishna gives how Krishna protects and guides you in your path of devotional service. And then finally he says in 6.42, which is a classic verse, Atava yoginam eva kule bhavate dhimatam etadi durlabhataram loke idrisham. He says, if you have really done nice devotional service for a long time, but you failed, I will give you birth in a devotee family and I will protect you. And in that purport, Srila Prabhupada writes a beautiful statement. How when he was a child, he got bhakti from his father. And then he says, my spiritual master was also born in a devotee family, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then he says, I had the opportunity to take birth in a devotee family, and my Guru Maharaj had a birth opportunity to take birth, and both of us had that opportunity to take birth in such families. And by the grace of Lord, we both were trained in bhakti from the very beginning of our lives, and then we met by the transcendental system. I'll repeat, Prabhupada says, he met his Guru by the transcendental system. There is a system. Do you understand this? There is a system in place. Like there is a system here, traffic rules, municipal planning, biological rhythms, right? There is a system. Similarly, there is a system in the spiritual dimension also. It works on different laws. And it works on the law of 10.10 Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. I will give you the intelligence by which you can come to me. Krishna is directing. Krishna is taking care. So, it is that Krishna's system which made Prabhupada meet Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, which made Richard Slavian, Radhanath Swami meet Gary 3 times in most godforsaken places in Nepal, somewhere. I mean, how can you meet? It's like height of coincidence. And out of 10,000 people in the crowd in Cross Maidan Pandal, Srila Prabhupada picks up young boy. How do you explain all of this? The most improbable circumstances, all this is happening means there is a law. There is a system, which is Krishna's invisible orchestra. Krishna is helping, is designed it to help all the wandering souls. And personally, I got one glimpse of it last month. I think, last month I was quietly taking darshan in this famous Matchless gift shop, the Matchless gift store in New York, 26 2nd Avenue. I was fortunate, I was there. And a young woman entered when I was sitting. This is afternoon time. I was sitting in front of Prabhupada's deity chanting. One young woman, she came and she sat a little far from me and she offered Dandavat, a foreign body. She offered Dandavat and she sat there offering prayers like this. So I assumed that she is a devotee who is familiar with ISKCON culture. I mean, it was obvious by her behavior. And and then she sat quietly, her eyes were closed. She was in deep meditation. And after some time, I was shocked. You know what she did? She walked up to me and she said, excuse me, what is Krishna? I said, excuse me? I said, you don't know Krishna? She said, no, I don't know, but I want to. Something in me said that I must come here and take association. I felt a connection, so I walked in. I said, really? So I said, what's your name? So she said her name was Sarah from Egypt. And she said she had never been to this 26 2nd Avenue before. Something in her heart told her that she should come. She was in another lane. Something told her, go here. So she came here. And then she enters this 26 2nd Avenue Matchless gift front, which is a center, small. Prabhupada's deity is there and devotees pray there. And she enters, she offers Dandavat and she sits in front of Prabhupada's deity and she offers prayer. And I said, but how did you know these devotional gestures? You have never been taught all of this. She said, I don't know. I'm just drawn to this place. I don't have an explanation. And the best part is this store, that Matchless gift is actually closed at that time of the day. I don't know how she knew that it will be open. See, it was open for me because I had come at that particular time. How did this lady know it will be open? How did she come there? See, this is called as Transcendental System in Action, what Srila Prabhupada writes in 6.42. If you practice patiently, this Transcendental System will operate on us also. And I think it was Thomas Merton, I don't know who, he made a very famous statement that every moment and every event in every human's life, I'll repeat, every moment, every event, and every person, every moment and every event in every person's life on earth is planting something on the soul. So if you have come to Krishna once, your bhakti has begun. Krishna has taken charge. It's everything you are doing now, all opportunities you're getting is a part of divine choreography. Krishna is taking care. So what I did, I introduced this girl to Gaur Sharan Prabhu, who is in charge of that place. And he gave her holy name. She started chanting. She said, I'll come regularly for the programs. My point is, I don't know how she ended up there that day. But something within her was responding to Krishna's call. Krishna was calling her. Actually, after this encounter, I had a chance to go to Tompkins Square Park. You know, that sacred place where Srila Prabhupada broke the American silence on that legendary day, October 9, 1966, when he did that kirtan. And it was like the first time Hare Krishna kirtan happened in the streets of America. And 60 years later, I'm in that same park, chanting quietly, softly under a tree. And you know what? I saw exactly the same scene that is described in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. An old woman who's staring at the sky, depressed, a young couple passionately kissing, children shrieking, some teenagers riding their bicycles, and some homeless man lying on the street. Exactly what the Lilamrit says. Everything seems to have changed, but something had not changed. And at that park, I also saw Harinam Anand Prabhu. Now, Harinam Anand Prabhu is a devotee whom I had seen 20 years ago in Mumbai. And he comes there with an Arab lady who's now a Pakka devotee. And she is married to another devotee. And they are there offering their devotion to Srila Prabhupada. And Harinam Anand Prabhu is preaching in Dubai. He's one of the most inspiring preachers. He has helped Syrians, Muslims, Arabs, Jews, Christians, and Hindus. He preaches to all of them and makes them devotees. So, and I was like, okay, why is he here? Why am I here? Why are we meeting after 20 years? This was Transcendental system. Krishna was acknowledging, okay, Vraja Bihari, you are serving for so many years. So Krishna was whispering, okay, now you should learn from Harinam Anand Prabhu. Start preaching. Carry forward this current of Harinam like Harinam Anand Prabhu. So the point I'm making is everything is designed by Krishna. I was supposed to be there so that I could get inspiration from Harinam Anand Prabhu. That lady came to that storefront. I'm just giving one example of one day. Krishna is taking care of us. In the material world, everything is changing. Our faces are changing, body is changing, communities are changing. But if you are present, if you are patient, something deeper we'll start sensing. We'll start sensing a continuity. We'll start sensing a presence. We'll start sensing an eternal thread that is binding our past, present, and future. An eternal thread that is binding all of us together. And this is called as Brahman. This is called as the unchanging reality. So spiritual life basically means connecting to this reality, becoming aware of Krishna, because Krishna will link all the things across all the time. You know, whether it is going to nature, going to forest, going to Himalayas, you know, grace, blessings, Krishna is always available. Krishna is always there. But unfortunately, Krishna is rarely perceived. We don't perceive Krishna. Because why we don't perceive Krishna? Because we are living in the past or we are living in the future. Krishna is present in that ghee lamp, you know, that pujari in the temple after Aarti gets that ghee lamp. Small activity, we take the blessing. Krishna is present there. Krishna is present in the smell of tulsi. Krishna is present in the taste of Mahaprasad. Krishna is present in the kirtan. But unfortunately, we can't see him because we are busy scrolling. We are busy planning tomorrow's breakfast. We are mentally winning that argument from last Tuesday. So because of all of that, we are not able to perceive Krishna's presence in our life. So therefore, see, I'm not sharing some techniques here with you. I'm just saying, see, being present, being mindful, it's not a technique. It's an act of surrender. It's like, it's basically patience means what? Basically, patience means telling Krishna, Krishna, I will not run. I will not hide in analysis or fantasy or plan making. I am here, Krishna. Even if you choose to remain silent, I am here. And then you will see how subtly Krishna reciprocates. Suddenly in the japa, suddenly you will feel the holy name is alive. And Satyananda Maharaj says this. Just be present to the holy name. One day suddenly you will feel holy name is alive. And then during Kirtan, you will feel you are being held. And suddenly some stranger will come up to you and he will ask you about Krishna. And you are like, okay, Krishna, I sent him. So basically, Krishna becomes visible only when we stop rushing and we start receiving devotional service. So therefore, this is the way I understand. Otherwise, out of 10,000 people in their cross Maidan Pandal, how can Srila Prabhupada pick up a young boy? Richard became Radhanath Swami because of this transcendental system. So we need to walk in this mystery, Prabhus. In bhakti, we need to trust Krishna's whispers. We need to show up to Krishna and stay present. Now, many times I've seen devotees say, it just happened, Prabhuji. No, nothing happens. Actually, when we say, it just happened, something happened like this, Krishna is chuckling. Really? Krishna is thinking, you think I did, you think I went through all that trouble for nothing? Krishna is a divine director. Krishna loves each one of us. Krishna, uh, see, right now, our life looks unscripted, right? It's like, kya chal raha hai? It's all a mess. No. Uh, there is a cosmic screenplay, bada hai, and Krishna is doing his best. I'll give a simple example. I don't know if this will make sense to you, and then maybe we can have some discussion. Okay. In our ashram when I joined, we had Abhiram Gopal Prabhu. He was very old. He was sitting in the bench chair. And after Aarti, we would take the Aarti to him and he would take the blessings. He was Vanaprastha. Now, this was 1998. Abhiram Gopal Prabhu was very old that time. Now, he is no more. On the same chair, instead of Abhiram Gopal Prabhu, Vraja Krishna Prabhu is sitting. He is a Vanaprastha now. Time has changed. Now, I remember many years ago, two children, Janvi and her brother Gautam, they would be running around in the temple. Now they are grown up, they're going to get married, they are getting graduates. But now, instead of Janvi and Gautam, I have Gaur Priya and Sridama. So I meet their parents, I tell them, Mataji, Prabhuji, आपके बच्चों को देख के मुझे जानवी गौतम याद आते हैं. Same brother, sister running around. Same children I saw 25 years ago. Same type, different children, of course. And I remember 92-year-old Sanatan Muni Prabhu would come for Mangalarti, wobbling, struggling, and then he would stand right in the front and the darshan would open. Now, Sanatan Muni Prabhu left this world after a few years. Today, instead of Sanatan Muni Prabhu, we have Param Purush Prabhu, exactly the same way he walks. He's 94, 93-year-old. He comes to take darshan. And I remember as a young boy, as a brahmachari, I would be right in the front, dancing wildly in the youth. I was youthful. And the older brahmacharis would be sitting behind in the benches. And now I see that I'm sitting behind many times, nursing the wounds inflicted by Mr. Time. So, and now I see BT trainees, I see our Shashwat Prabhu, who is a host today. He's jumping and dancing. He's 25. He is my age when I joined the ashram. So the point I'm making is relationships will shift, health will decline, ashram dynamics will change, communities will change, our youthful roles will pass on to others, but Radha Gopinath Seva will continue. Krishna Seva will continue. Radha Kalachan Seva will continue. Radha Sham Sundar Seva will continue. Mangalarti, Kirtan, DT Seva will go on. The DT will smile. The holy name will remain. Everything will change. We too will pass. Others will come. But Krishna's transcendental system will guide each one of us back home. See, spiritual life doesn't promise that everything will remain same. Many of us are in this illusion that everything should remain same. No. Spiritual life doesn't promise everything will remain same. It promises that something real will remain when everything else changes, when everything else fades. So therefore, Krishna conscious realizations are not flashy. They don't shout. They wait. They wait. And they will, and if we tune into them, we will be able to connect with them. So we need to practice patiently every day the same things. So therefore, just be present in your chanting. When you're hearing class, be receptive. When you're taking prasadam, let it nourish your soul. Just be present. So this is the way This is a few things I wanted to share with all of you. Okay, we can have some discussions because I have 10-15 minutes more and then I have to rush for something else today. But the essence of what I wanted to say is that patience basically means keep your eyes open, keep your heart soft, be present, Krishna will show up. See, Krishna may not show up the way you imagine. Krishna will show up the way you need. So that's what we have, a distorted timeline. We just need to abandon that. Just be present. And that's the way we practice patience and we trust Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your kind hearing. Hari Bol. We can have some discussions, question answers now. Over to you, Shashwat Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Pradeep. Wonderful class and wonderful discussion. So, uh, Purnima Chakra Mataji from Michigan had raised her hand during the session. So, wish to just check with her if she wanted to take her question or was it answered during the session, and we can take the next questions. Purnima Mataji, if you
It was
wish.
answered, Prabhu, for the
Great.
impatience, how to be present. So, thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you so much, Madam. So, Krishna Sakha Prabhuji, can we take your question first? Kindly unmute and let's see.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much, Vraja Bihari, bro, and thank you for the story you gave of the elderly man who'd visit Vrindavan and the one incident in his diary that was really faith-giving. Thank you. My question was on, I think you mentioned about one of the ways to be patient is this culture of prayer, this culture of constant prayer. And I wondered how we develop a level of constant prayer. At the moment, my prayers only really when I see the deities, but not really anywhere or anything beyond that. So if you had any guidance in terms of perhaps how to evolve that and yeah, the importance of that.
Okay, so if I understand you rightly, you're saying, how do we develop a culture of prayer? Is that what you're saying?
Beyond like a culture of constant, I think you used the word regular or constant prayer or something along those
Yeah.
lines. So how to evolve it from a momentary prayer when you're in front of the deities to something that is constant in our lives.
Okay, one thing really helps is, see, prayer is basically offering our heart to Krishna. It's like a conversation with Krishna. See, how are we connecting with each other right now, Prabhu? You are talking, I'm listening, and then I'm talking, you are listening, right? Now, this is exactly what we need to do with Krishna. But the problem with Krishna is that we converse with Krishna at the level of the thoughts, not at the level of speech. I'm conversing with you at the level of speech, sound. Therefore, it is more easy for me to speak to you and listen to you. But with Krishna, we do it at the level of the thoughts. And at the level of the thoughts, mind is very fast. Mind runs everywhere, and we are not able to offer thoughts clearly, and we're not able to articulate our prayers. I'm able to articulate my, in my conversation with you, I'm more articulate. With Krishna, I'm unable to, because it's in the level of the thoughts and the mind is running everywhere. So one way of offering prayers, like His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj would do, is write journals, write prayers. Krishna, I love you. Krishna. So if you write every day, few times for 2 minutes each, or write once a day, every day, or once in 2 days, make it structured if you can. So then that is one way of prayer. And then when you come in front of deities, I know one devotee, I don't want to embarrass this devotee, is there in the, I can see the video is also on. This devotee wrote a beautiful letter to Radha Sham Sundar in Vrindavan and offered a prayer, and then brought the letter and read it out to Vrindavan and offered it to Radha Sham Sundar, and the prayers were answered. So sometimes we can't offer prayers, but we can write them down. So this writing is a great way of offering regular prayer. Another way also of prayer is just sitting with the deities, just be present, just be in the sacred space. Just like when you love someone, you don't always talk, right? You also listen. So sometimes you can come in front of the deities and just be in the temple hall, just be present, just bask in the presence of the Lord. That's listening. Being present, see, just like in a conversation, talking and listening helps us improve relationships. Similarly, in our inner relationship with Krishna, offering thoughts and being present, that is compared to speaking and listening. Just like in this world, I listen to you. In my inner relationship with Krishna, if I have to listen to Krishna, I have to be present. And just like in this world, I talk to you, I speak. So when I offer thoughts to Krishna, either through writing or through prayers, that is speaking. So just like in this world, I have to speak and listen. In my relationship with Krishna, also I have to speak and listen. That is offering thoughts and being present. And that is called prayer. Does that answer your question, Krishna Sakha Prabhu?
Perfectly. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Shashwat Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Ajit Prabhu, can we take your question now?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam. Thanks for such an enlightening discussion about patience. Prabhuji, you brought two things, and there I got little confused. One was on the association factor, where you was talking about Maharaj's association with different type of people, right? So it's not always a devotee community. For example, you gave the example of his friend also, right? So generally what happens that when we are at a level of sadhana and when we are not a pure devotee sort of persons, we are asked not to associate with the non-devotees. So how to understand this and how to practice this, or even if we come in touch with such people, how to take this in life?
See, you know, when you are a child, when you have a child who is 2-year, 3-year-old, we say don't talk to strangers, don't take chocolates from strangers. We protect the child, but when the child grows up, the child learns to protect herself or himself, right?
Right.
So when you're a new devotee, you must have heard all of this. Don't talk to Mayavadis, don't associate, don't do this, don't do that. But as you get older, how much will you avoid? I mean, even those who stay in the ashram can't avoid.
Exactly.
So you have to learn the art of, you have to grow up, basically. You can't be a kid. You can't. See, Srila Prabhupada gave us instructions. At that time, all the devotees were very young, very, age also they were young. In Krishna consciousness also they were new. But now devotees have spent 25, 30. We have so many devotees who have spent 25, 30 years in the movement. So, and we can't avoid.
Exactly.
So we have to learn to associate with them, be mature, harmonize. Like I'm writing today, I wrote an article on Chandogya Upanishad. Now, if you see it's this famous aphorism, Tattvam Asi, you are that. Generally, we criticize Mayavadis saying that they keep saying you are that, and that is impersonal, that is Brahman, that is bogus. But Chandogya Upanishad is extremely powerful. It is one of the most ancient texts, and the 6th chapter where Tattvam Asi is explained in such graphic detail about connecting to Brahman. I wrote a whole article on that. I spent 3 hours writing that article, and I realized how it is so beautiful, it is so empowering. But I was just thinking 40 years ago, if somebody had read what I had written now, they would have branded me as a Mayavadi and I would have been kicked out of ISKCON. But I realized that our process is Achintya Beda Abheda Tattva. We are one with the Lord, simultaneously one and different. But we focus always on the difference. So much that so we live in duality then, we live in fear. We have to also realize I'm one with the Lord in qualitatively, So that oneness aspect we miss. And because of that, we always live in fear of Mayavadis, fear of atheistic people. अरे कृष्ण को अनुभव करो यार, और दूसरों के साथ संग करो और दूसरों को संग दो और उनसे भी कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस सीखो. There are so many people who are not Hare Krishna devotees, but they can teach us Krishna consciousness.
Exactly.
I'll give one example. When I was a 12-year-old boy, this is an incident which I will never forget for the rest of my life. When I was 12-year-old boy, okay, this is an amazing incident. I'm sorry if I'm not able to answer all of your questions today, but I want to assure you, all those who have raised your hand, please ask your questions. Our admin, Shashwat Prabhu, will forward them to me, and I will personally answer all of your questions. But right now, let me complete this story. This is an amazing story I remember now. When I was at 12, this is a point I'm making, how not everybody who is conventional Hare Krishna devotee can also have some connection. Like I gave the story of this 95-year-old man. He was not a Hare Krishna devotee. but Krishna told him when to leave this world. When I was a 12-year-old boy, my father took me and our family to a place called Subramanya, which is 2 hours drive from Udupi, which is an ancient place where Lord Anantasheshi is worshipped. It's a remote place. We went there. Now, my father's father, my grandfather, in Udupi, was a teacher for the sannyasis. He used to teach Sanskrit and English. Simple Brahmin living in the temple town of Udupi. And he was no more. He left this world in 1966. He had trained many young sannyasis, and then anyway, he died in 1966. This is 1986. I'm 13-year-old. 20 years later, with my father and my mother and my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, we are going to this small town, and we are doing production of the temple. And one sannyasi is sitting in under one pillar in one corner. An elderly sannyasi was sitting. So my father holds my hand and my other brother's hand, and he says, "Oh, there is a sannyasi. Let us go and offer dandavat to him." So I'm a young boy. I go with my father, and we see this sannyasi. And then my father offers obeisances. I also offer obeisances. And then sannyasi looks up and he smiles at him. And he says, "Oh, you are Gopal Krishna Acharya's son, is it?" So then he says, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." So my father is like a young boy in front of this sannyasi. He's an elderly. "Yes, yes, yes." So, so I was like, okay, how does he know? I was wondering, how does this sannyasi know that my father is this? So then so then I'm like, I'm looking at this conversation. So my father says, "Yes, yes, thank you so much. You recognized me." Like, now I was like, how did he recognize him as his son, Gopal Krishna Acharya's son? So this sannyasi says, "No, no, I knew you are coming today.
Oh,
Your father told me last night that you are coming today. That is why I called." So then we offered them that I was going. I asked my dad, "But how did your father tell him? I mean, your father is gone 20 years ago." He says, my father is telling me their way of communication is different. I said, "What do you mean it is different?" He said, "He must have come in his dream. He must have told him." I said, "No. How does he know all this?" He said, "No, no, Baba, they have a way of communication." So a random, my father is any normal human being in pant shirt. He's walking and the sannyasi looks at him and says, "Are you this fellow's son?" And my father never remembers seeing this sannyasi before. So I'm just giving an example. The point I'm making is there are some systems in operation. There is some way of communication. We are not able to access all of that. And just because we are in Hare Krishna movement, we think we have everything. Yes, we have the best. But that doesn't mean we can't recognize Krishna in nature. We can't recognize subtler, nuanced energies. You know, a simple thing. How do you if you have to meet your friend, you send a WhatsApp message 10 times. You'll send him रात को, सुबह 2 बार, शाम को, दोपहर को. Then 12 hours later, you are going to meet someone 5 times. We text each other. So in 1992, I was waiting for my friend at one bus stop in Mumbai. He was supposed to come at 10 o'clock in the morning. He didn't come. I waited for a few minutes. And after we were supposed to go to one rhythm house, one cassette shop, buy some cassettes, then go and do some photocopying of some books in the Indian Merchants Library. Then we were supposed to eat some sandwiches, but he didn't turn up. So I waited. Then I called my house. We didn't have mobile phones then. I called up my house from the PCO. My mom says, "No, he didn't call up." I called his house. He didn't, no, not picking up the phone. Then again went to the bus stop. He's not there. After 20 minutes of waiting, I quietly assumed that he would come somewhere. I went to the cassette shop. I brought those 2 cassettes which we were supposed to buy, and I photocopied. I brought sandwiches for him and went to the library knowing that he would be there at this particular time. Nobody told me. Nobody texted me. And then exactly around 11:30 he comes there, and he had assumed that I would have packed sandwiches for him. And then we had sandwiches. We didn't make a big deal of it. No WhatsApp communication, no messaging, but we kind of understood what had happened. What had happened was his mom fell in the bathroom and she broke her spine and he had to rush her to the hospital. And then so then he couldn't call my house. See, the communication system was not as refined as it is now, but still people connected at a deeper level. Today, we have everything in control, but we are so lost. And then on top of it, we have a fanatic, dogmatic idea of Krishna consciousness. So we miss out on Krishna, who appears through so many of our friends, our neighbors, our family, our experiences. The 7th chapter Gita, Krishna says, I am the fragrance of earth, punyo gandha prithviyamcha. I am the light of the sun. We don't experience Krishna in our day-to-day life. We're just getting lost in the busyness of our life, in the passion. We just need to pause and connect. Hare Krishna, Ajit Prabhu.
So, Prabhu, in continuation to this, only another question, if I may ask.
Can I come back to you? Can I take?
Sure, no problem. Sure.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji, we'll take, if it is okay, we'll take one last question from Malati Mataji from Chennai.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hope I am audible.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji, like you said that first is impatient, then comes the doubt, then comes prejudice, then dogmatism. Somehow, we all feel lost where we are today or what we are doing and all. So, how to come out of this lost stage of living, or really cannot determine whether it's a stage of doubt or whether it is a stage of prejudice. But like you said, there is faith. Somehow, some relishness of the past is still following up. You don't have the doubt in the principle or the base. But however, there is a loss of connection. So, how to regain that? Or how to reassure that not to go into the cynical part or the prejudice part, and retain or revise the relishments that we had once. That's all.
We need to take good association. Good association, that is the secret. Association means those devotees who are relishing bhakti, spend time with them. Like there is one brahmachari in our temple, he's always appreciating everyone. Last 15 years in the ashram, he's always fresh. Always, every time you talk to him, he's always appreciating someone. So whenever I'm like stressed or handling negativity, some management issue, some controversy, scandal, some disturbing issues, something comes up and I'm tired, stressed, then I look for him. I go and catch him. And just 5 minutes with him, I get battery recharged. He's got some positive disease. He only sees good in others. और Radha Gopinath Prabhu says, ये ऐसा आदमी है कि रावण को भी देख के appreciate करेगा. He'll tell Ravan also that ultimately you are Jai Vijay only, you are a good person. He's always appreciating everyone. He can never see faults in anyone. So I just go to him. So the point I'm making is, in your situation, this cynicism and all will not happen. We will not sink further if you catch the right kind of people. See, the confusion and bewilderment happens because I think all of us are put in situations where we don't know what to do, right? And sometimes we are just confused, we are bewildered, we become cynical. But Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu says very nice point. He says real intelligence means to know what to do when you don't know what to do. So when we don't know what to do, we should know what to do, which means go to the right kind of devotees or take shelter of Krishna, prayers. So I think the way you can avoid becoming cynical is by having good association, either online or offline. Catch someone. Is that okay? Thank you. Shashwat Prabhu, I'm sorry, I have to leave, but those devotees who I'm sorry couldn't serve you, you can always get in touch with Shashwat Prabhu or ask me privately. I'll be happy to serve you. Thank you very much, Shashwat Prabhu. Thank you, Ishan. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So we have noted all of the questions that have come in chat also, and we will get back to the devotees who raised their hands but were not able to ask the questions, so that they can send me the questions and we can take it.
Okay, somebody asked me one small thing. Spiritual life does not promise everything will remain same. Please, can you say that again? I said spiritual life does not promise everything will remain same. Spiritual life assures that when everything is changing, something that is real will not change. Something that is real will remain. That is what I said. So there are many other questions also on chat. I don't have time. Okay.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Thank you so much for me.
Thank you everyone. Please take care. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.